Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Dewan. So I get a lot of questions about the terminal emulator that I use to connect to my Cisco devices whenever I lab live or I make videos. And today I wanted to share the software that I use every day in my home lab and I've used pretty much throughout my networking career. That software is SecureCRT. Now this video is not sponsored by SecureCRT, but they were nice enough to give me a free evaluation copy to review and also share my thoughts and opinion on it. And that's what I'm going to do today. Now, SecureCRT is made by the people at VanDyke Software. Shout out to Mrs. Jill over at VanDyke and the whole VanDyke software company. Now, SecureCRT is sort of similar to what you may know of as Putty, but the difference between the two are Putty is an executable that just runs pretty much anywhere, and SecureCRT will have to be installed on your device. Now, SecureCRT has many features to its application, and it has different packages that you can install along with SecureCRT, like SecureFX and VShell Server. SecureFX will be for your FTP, SCP transfers in your environments, whether that be your home lab or in your production environment. And the VShell Server is for monitor and logging your events. Either way, it's a pretty good software. Before we dive in it, I know you may be wondering how much does it cost. Well, if you go to VanDyke's webpage and click buy direct online or purchasing options, they have many options where you can purchase. But for the basic SecureCRT, the price is $99 with 1 year worth of updates. And for 3 years, it's $139. A cool thing that you all may be interested in is the package with the SecureFX, which that's also pretty cool because you can use SecureFX to basically do your FTP transfers in your labs. If you're interested in checking this out, like I said, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not being sponsored. I just wanted to share what I use because I get a lot of questions about it. And if you're interested, I'll have links in the description to where you can get a free 30-day trial for SecureCRT to try it out for yourself. And then a lot of other helpful information like links to their website and then links to their YouTube channel. It's a lot of great information just in case you want to learn more about SecureCRT. And then some of their blogs information. They're currently on version 8.5 and there's a ton of new features in it. I recommend you checking out this video for SecureCRT that shares a lot of those new features. But to just give you a glimpse, I'm going to walk you through my SecureCRT setup that I have in my home lab at the moment with this new version. But some of the features, it has an improved button bar, which is really cool. I like it. Multi-line pace, dialogue improvements. You can actually edit in your pace now, that's a huge improvement. You can save ad hoc sessions, script status indicator, command window. I'm going to leave a link to this in the description so you all can check it out for yourself. One more thing, you all may have a question about the way my SecureCRT looks. There's a lot of features you can actually add to make SecureCRT really pop and give you the information that you need on demand. Let's hop into my SecureCRT and I can show you what I got popping. Okay, as I mentioned before, my SecureCRT is going to look different. They made a lot of new changes and added a lot of new features to SecureCRT. So let's kind of just dive right in. I have my home lab router that I'm going to pull up. We're going to SSH into that device. Boom. We're in my home lab router. Now check this out. This is so clean and sleek to me. Now some of you, I don't know if you heard of like the Darkula, if you use something like PyCharm and a lot of other applications you can have this thing. But the cool thing about this is when I'm logging into my device, it just looks, it's not hard on my eyes. The things stand out the way I want. So if I want to do a show IP interface brief, you can see I have a couple down interfaces. Well, I have one down interface and the rest of my interfaces are up in green. If I do a show IP route, this is what I also like. Check this out. So all my interfaces or my connections are in green. My interfaces are in blue. And then if you look up here, you can see the color code for your different routing protocols. Now, that's awesome. Everything stands out. If I do a show IP protocols, let's look at that. Everything that you want to see stands out. Lets you know that there's no filters configured. The routing ID. It'd be cool if the areas, but you can actually break this down to configure your color codes how you want it if you want something to stand out more. But either way, I think this is real clean and sleek myself. Now, there's something down here called the button bar. And what it is you can create basically shortcuts. Now, for those of you that are trying to learn your commands, I wouldn't recommend doing this because you may forget commands. But for those of you that work in a NOC, like in my job, this is how I actually learned about it. Is people that work in the NOC at my in my current place of employment, basically they're tier 1 support, and they have SecureCRT, and they use the button bar on theirs to basically run things like show IP interface brief, show IP route, show run, and then your time. The idea is, it does seem kind of glitchy. Not like it's a problem, but sometimes I have to click the button twice for some reason, and it could just be I need to reboot since I've actually installed it. But sometimes it does not use the first character. But either way, it works, and I think it's pretty cool. But like I said, if you are currently new to using commands, I recommend you hold off on actually doing the button bar. But another cool thing that I found about the button bar is you can actually have different menus in the button bar where you can actually do commands. So I have a command here to config T. I just press that and it config T. Now, another one I have, and if I do this command, I'm going to have to actually let's do it this way. So basically, I can send a string of commands. So when I push it, it'll do one thing. So right now, I have it bouncing my gigabit 01. But if I do that, I'll get disconnected. So let's do gigabit 00. So if I do that, click OK, and I bounce port. And as you can see, I did a shut, no shut on this interface. And that's pretty cool. So if you have to do certain configurations often, you can create a button bar down there and basically click that button and do a series of commands. Really easy. So that's dope. Now, another thing about this button bar is you can launch applications. So if you're working on a router or a device and you're heavy into this troubleshooting process, and let's say you need Notepad up, you can just click this button and Notepad will open. Now, I have found it to be not as fast of a response as I would like, but I'm calling this application from another application, so that could be why. So I call Notepad. I have another one for Python. If I need to do a Python script, it actually opened in another window. So now Python is actually open. And if I do name equals Dewan, enter, type name, boom. And I'm writing my Python script really quick, really simple. That's basically how you get that done there. You close that out. If I need command prompt, same thing. And I have another one for, well, we'll wait for command prompt to open. Command prompt open in another window. That's that. And I have another one for PowerShell. So I think that's really cool about the button bar right there. And some other key features in here. We talked about commands, show commands, and all that good stuff. But some other key features that we actually have that we can actually do in our lab environment or the real world is you can have different sessions in session folders. So if you have multiple sites, multiple locations, you can kind of divide up your folder sessions by the sites. So if I wanted to create a new folder, I can go new folder and we can call this Ohio. And I could take my devices and put them in Ohio, and you can actually divide up your sites by folders, so that way you can have everything organized and structured how you want it. So that's awesome. I've always liked the session manager. Another thing about the session manager is that I can actually pull up and connect to multiple devices. So that's pretty cool. And again, if I need to check my interfaces, I use that button bar. But one of the major features that I like between this and Putty is that I have multiple tabs up here. And then from my understanding is you can kind of group these now in 8.5. I haven't figured that out yet. If any of you know, let me know. But there's a way to kind of, let's see if you can view it a certain way. Yeah, there's a new way to kind of group your lock screen rename. Let's see if we can figure it out. So you can create tab groups. Yeah, that's dope. So you could kind of configure, like, let's say you're comparing configs or you're working on 2 different devices. So now if I'm working over here on site A or I'm working on site B, I can have, okay, everything in Ohio over on this side, everything in California on this side. So that's pretty cool. I like that. And then also you can compare configs. I wonder if I did like a scroll like lock or something. All right, so if I come in here and let's say I want to copy all of this text and I want to paste it into my configuration. One of the cool things about this is if I paste it, now it comes out with this clipboard. Before, this was just a verification, but now what I can do is I can come in here and actually edit before I even paste. And that's so, man, shout out to SecureCRT for adding that verification and edit in the same box before you paste it in. So if I want to do OK IP domain lookup, now it's going to enter it, and yeah, and there we go. I'm good to go. All that configuration is right there. I was able to edit. Now if I want to go back and edit it again, come in here, verify it, and click paste. Boom. And honestly, I probably could have did a caret return after that just for it to go. But look, I have no complaints about this version of SecureCRT. Okay, so before we leave, I wanted to cover SecureFX. Also, really quick, for those of you that do file transfer between your devices. So if I come up here, I had to make sure that I have SCP enabled on my device so I can transfer files, and also have to make sure that I have TFTP server enabled. So if I click launch SecureFX, SecureFX will launch. So what it does is it opens up my computer so I can transfer files directly to my switch and from my switcher router. So if I go to connect and I want to connect to this device, I'm going to make sure that I connect the way I want. So terminal, we're going to SSH, but we're going to use SCP. That's the way we're going to file transfer. So we have to make sure that that's set up correctly. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to log into the device. So if you're using TFTP, make sure you have FTP or SFTP, however you want to do it. Of course, if you're using TFTP, that'll have to be set up correctly or whatever you're using. But since I'm using SSH version 2, we're going to go through SCP. So we'll do that. Then we'll click connect. And it's going to prompt me to enter my password. And I'll enter my password. And now, as you can see, it's showing the flash of my device. And this is my flash. So if I want to copy my configs from my device, let's see if I have my configs up here. I wonder if that's it. So let's see. Let's copy this to my desktop. I believe that's it. But if I want to copy this to my desktop as a ANSI file to make sure that I can open it, it's going to ask me to enter my keyboard, my password, and I just copied it to my desktop. So now if I right click and I open with Notepad, we should see if this is my config or not, and it is. This is my running config to my device. Well, it's not in the best format, but yeah, it's like it's not the actual configs. Let me go in here and do a copy config. So if I go in here and do copy running config to my flash, and actually let's do a dir. So dir, and as you can see, we're going to copy it to this directory here. So if I do copy running config, and then we'll paste that there, enter, and it's going to ask me a destination file name, and we'll call it test.txt. And now when we go back to SecureFX, and if I refresh, you should see a text.txt. And if I copy this over, and we should be able to open that, and this should be my running config now backed up to my device. Now this is actually my running config. This looks a lot better. This is actually exactly what we want to see. And that was super simple. Now you can actually do schedule backups and configs. And so as you can see, this is the iOS that I'm running on this device. I can come over here to my Samsung folder. I have a Cisco folder, and I have an images folder, and I can actually copy a new image over. This is the latest image that I have, and that's going to be, I believe, 15.7 or 3, whatever. Regardless, I can just copy it directly over, and we want to keep it as a bin file. Yes. And we're going to verify that. I'm going to click OK. And then after I enter my password, and if you look down here, you can see that this file is actually transferring. It's going to take a little while to transfer, but once it transfers, we should be good to go. This, I'm telling you, this SecureCRT SecureFX bundle is pretty dope. I really do like it. The SecureFX makes it really easy to just connect to your devices, pull configs, and copy configs. Because I know at a lot of places you'll use something like TFTPD 32 or 64, or another application is WinSCP. All those applications are good, but most of the times they're just like a file server that helps you or an FTP server. You just copy the files to the FTP server. Then you got to log into your device and copy them over from your device or whatnot to your device, from your device. However you do it, that's the way you pretty much do it. Or if you have something like SolarWinds with the NCM, you can work it that way. But the way SecureFX actually works, it logs into your device and gives you a GUI to copy and paste applications directly to that device. That's pretty dope. For all of you that may be interested in SecureCRT, SecureFX, like I said, I'll have all the links in the description. For those of you who already have it and would like more information, if you would like me to make some more in-depth videos on these applications or some other type of applications, let me know in the description below. Hit this video with a like, and then also check out the VanDyke Software Company's YouTube channel and their forums. There's so much helpful information, helpful people out there that will help you become a more productive engineer. The new image has copied over. We verified that here. If I go over to my router and I do a dir, you can see that the new image has now copied over and we're good to go. Yeah, but that's pretty much SecureFX and SecureCRT. I thank you all for your support. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.